Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for Once Upon a Time, Season 3, Episode 19, A Curious Thing. And if you remember last week's episode, I was not so happy with it. I just thought it was an okay episode last week, but this episode was completely different. I love this episode tonight, because finally, everything that I've wanted to happen in the past few episodes happened in this episode. We finally realized, why... who casted the curse, why it happened, things like that. People finally realized what happened in the past year, and Henry finally, got his memories back, which I was really happy about. I just thought that was great about this episode, and I love this episode because of that. That was definitely a great episode, so, let's just get to it, because I love this episode. Alright. So basically we start off with a rider dashes on horseback through the forest. Regina berates Snow and Charming for getting the whole kingdom together to announce her pregnancy when there's a wicked witch on the loose. And the rider is Belle, and she tells him she and Neil went after the Dark One, but Neil sacrificed himself to raise his father. She tells him Zelena has a dagger, Gold absorbed Neil, and Zelena is in control of the Dark One. So Regina wants them to postpone the baby announcement. Aurora and Philip tell them that Zelena wants their baby and that they had to tell her about the baby to save their own. Zelena flies in and turns Philip and Aurora into flying monkeys. They fly out the window. Regina tells Zelena this is between them, but she frees her sister and Snow and then touches Snow's stomach. She says the baby will do nicely, tells her to take good care of the baby growing her stomach until she comes back for it. We still don't know why Zelena wants the baby. That's the only thing we don't know right now. And you know what, that's fine, because we don't need to know everything that's going on, we don't need to know everything, that's the only thing we don't know at this point, that was why Zelena wants the baby. So she says, then Grumpy tells them he's been working with the fairies, but they have no weapons capable of destroying Zelena. So, Snow says this is the second time she's been pregnant under threat. They all look at Regina. Regina asks how they got a head start on her last time. And Snow says Gold warned them. Regina suggests they go into Gold's castle where he's been talking to him. And Belle was held captive, so there's a good option. And Robin says he's snuck in there before and can help. So Regina says he is not trustworthy since he's a thief. He says Gold's castle has deadly traps. And she says they're not powerful than her magic. She reluctantly agrees that they can come along. So we're back in the present, and it starts off right where the last one left off, with Regina and Robin kissing, and she asks him what he sees in her, and he says the same she sees in him, a second chance. He tells her she's a good kisser, and she tells him to wait until she has her heart back. He asks what that's like, and she says she feels, but not fully, and he puts her hand on his heart and tells her to use his. Henry comes out of the apartment, greets Regina as a polite stranger, and it breaks her heart because he still doesn't have all his memories back. So, Robin kisses her again and wishes her luck, and she goes in to meet with the gang. Regina comes in smiling. Snow tells her she looks smitten. They have to figure out how to destroy Zelena. Emma asks why Zelena brought them all back to Storybrooke, and Regina says it casts the curse to bring them back here. She would have sacrificed some things she loved. So, they theorized that back in the Enchanted Forest, they had figured out how to destroy her, and Zelena took their memories and sent them back to stop them. Snow thinks Emma has the Savior is key, but then Regina says that she thinks getting Henry to remember is the key, and they agree to look for the book that started all this. Emma says the memories won't be a gift to him, but she thinks that they should, look for it. So, they definitely want to try to get their memories back. They don't know if they're going to be able to, but they definitely want to. So Regina and Robin head into Gold's castle with Belle and the others back in the Enchanted Forest. We're now in a flashback. She starts to touch the door. Robin warns her. He shoots an arrow, reveals the door was fiery, and she yells at him for nearly shooting her. And he says he saved her life and she should say thank you. They swap insults. Belle tells them to press on. The gang finds Gold spinning in a cage, and Regina says he really is back from the dead, and David says he lost his mind, and Gold says he's got two now. He talks in rhymes, and Regina says it's pointless, but Belle asks to try, and she comes closer and reaches through the bars of the cage, and he says, through the door, step inside if you're pure of heart that she won't hide, and he giggles. So, now David gets a call from Belle, who says that the book is not in the shop. They say the book just disappeared. And basically what they're saying is that the one thing that kept Henry, happy was that book. If you remember, what made Emma believe was the book. So what's making Henry believe is also the book. And I just thought that was really interesting. So they say the book just disappeared, and Snow says the first time the book just appeared in her closet when Henry was feeling low, and she needed to believe in happy endings. So Regina says he needs to believe again, and says they all do. They go to check her closet. And Emma leaves Henry with Grumpy with a kiss, but he follows her out and demands to know where she's going. He asks if it's about who killed his dad, and she tries to stall him. He says he deserves to know everything, and she tells him it has to wait, and she's his mother and knows best. She yells, and he asks for the keys, and says if he's going to be a prisoner, he wants his Game Boy. She tosses him the keys. He heads out the back door of the hotel and tries to get into the bag. And, Hook is there, asks where Henry's off to. At first, he says nowhere, but when Hook points out that he seems to be in a hurry to go nowhere, Henry tells him he's going home. And he says, you're running away, and asks Henry if he was going to drive all the way back to New York. Because I didn't even know where Henry was going. We just see him, walk and things like that, and we don't know where he's going, but it turns out he's trying to go home. So, definitely this is Hook thinking, he definitely needs to, we definitely need to help him out. So, Regina and Snow are trying to look for the book. They can't find the book, and Regina takes the book to look for chapters on Oz. She thinks they can find her weakness there. So Snow asks if Emma really did see the book and in there, and she tells Emma she's not herself, and she says she yelled at Henry. Emma says she doesn't want all this for Henry, and she's taking Henry back to New York when this is done. And Emma says their life is in New York, and Snow says it only felt like home because she forgot about them. Snow. Back in the Enchanted Forest, David gives Snow a flower, and Regina asks why in the middle of a crisis are they stopping to smell roses. Snow says they're daffodils, and she says they need to focus on killing her sister. So they spot the door. Snow repeats the rhyme, then steps inside. Snow and David go in, but when Regina comes through, there is nothing there because her heart is not pure. So Glinda greets them, says Regina can't come through because her heart is tainted by anger. They tell her they need to defeat Zelena, and she tells her magic isn't powerful enough to defeat Zelena. She says they were once friends before she tried to stop Zelena from giving into her dark magic. She asks how they can defeat her, and Glinda tells them she was a penitent that the strong practitioner of light magic can take away from her. Snow says that must be Emma since she was born of love and is the savior. David says Emma isn't in this land, and Snow says there is a way. She says there's a steep price. Snow says they must enact the dark curse, and David says no. So they tell Regina they need to work the curse, and she tells them they're out of their minds. And she said the only thing she loves is Henry, and she won't kill him, obviously. So, they go back and forth here, and eventually, Regina tells Emma to break the curse, but then Zelena is there. So then what happens is just all of a sudden, we see that there's this, there are these flying monkeys that come in, Hook and Henry are talking, and here is where the episode got awesome. I love this, where the episode came here. I just thought this was great. This was awesome here. These flying monkeys just start flying in. Probably one of them is Aurora and Philip, I'm just guessing. Hook shoots at two, then they go up in flames. A third one gets shot by Emma, who's there now. David kills another, and Regina shoots another with a ball of fire. Henry's in shock by the monkeys and the other stuff he saw. So Emma says it will be all clear soon and holds out the book. She tells him he needs to believe in magic. She asks if he believes in her, and he says yes. She tells him to take the book. He does, and all of his memories come floating back. I love that part where his memories came back because finally, I was hating Henry in this episode personally. I wanted Henry dead in this episode because he was so annoying. He really was. Emma looks at him, sadly, then he looks at Regina, and calls her mom, and runs to her. She hugs him, and he tells everyone that he remembers everything, so it's great that he finally remembers. And Regina tells Emma to break the curse, she's about to break the curse, but then Zelena is there, and asks who wants to say goodbye first. Zelena grabs Henry, tells him it's Hook's fault by failing them, and knew what cost Henry's life. Zelena chokes him, but then Emma focuses her powers, and Zelena is bathed in white light and can't hold him. She lets him go. He runs to Emma, but after Zelena leaves, Henry runs to check on Regina, who is knocked out because Zelena knocked her with a magic blast. So, back in the Enchanted Forest, Regina tells Snow and David the curse is ready, and basically, this is how they made the curse. We see how they made the curse and everything. And, basically, they're departing and everything, and she cries and tells him she loved him since the first moment she saw him, and he tells her he'll love her until his last moment, so it's really sad there. Regina tears as she listens, the two kiss, and then David says he's ready. He tells Regina to do it. She tells him it's going to hurt, but it says it'll work, and Regina hands Snow his heart. She holds it over the position cauldron, and she crushes it. Charming collapses, and, David collapses, and the dust pours into the cauldron. So she adds some of her magic into the mix, and tells Snow she'll be too busy looking for her husband to try to remember what they've learned. So then finally, so now Snow holds her dead husband as the curse begins. So now Henry begs Regina to wake up, and she finally comes to it and hugs him. Emma watches the struggling with emotions. Regina says she'll never let him go away, and she tells him she loves him. She kisses him on the head, then magic sweeps across Storybrooke. The curse is broken, so now everyone remembers everything, and I'm really happy about this. Emma tells him if it wasn't her, it was Regina. Emma asks if they remember. Snow says they are the ones that cast the curse. They tell her that they had to go back to her so she could break the curse. Emma asks how they're both still here if one of them sacrificed the other cast it. And, then Henry tells Regina how awesome New York was, and we see basically that they're just getting along really well and everything's good between them. So Emma demands to know what Hook was doing for Zelena, because we know that Hook was doing something, and finally she asks, what were you doing? And he tells her that Zelena cursed his lips and says that if he kisses her, she'll lose her magic. He says Zelena knows what they all know, and Emma can defeat her. He says he was trying to get Henry away and save his life. Snow and David says he's lying about getting a message and memory potion from them because they never sent it. He says someone sent it. They all agree they can't trust Hook anymore, and he's not happy about that. I think it's pretty much that they don't know if he's actually on Zelena's side or on their side. I think that's pretty much what's going on there. So we see Gold and Zelena back in the Enchant Forest. She says a curse is coming and that they have to leave. She drinks down a memory potion to keep her memory in the new lands, hands the rest of the potion to Gold, and she walks out. He says memories are pain, and he ties a message potion to the bird, tells the bird to get it to Killian on the Jolly Roger. So Emma and Henry are at Neil's grave, and he says he really was a hero. He asked her if it was hard coming. And by the way, in the scene, Neil was there, and I thought that was kind of strange. I knew it was in the past, but I still thought it was weird. Speaking of Neil, Emma and Henry are at Neil's grave. Finally, you know, Henry knows actually the truth about Neil and everything, so finally he gets to have some closure. He says he really was a hero. He asked her if it was hard coming back to Storybrooke when she knew of the dangers. She says she had a voice in her head saying she had to come back. She's saying in her head, I had to come back. I had to. It's my home. And he says Operation Cobra is back on, and Snow, then we see Snow, she's crying out, which means that the baby is coming. So now it is all out war between Emma versus Zelena, because Regina said that because of, you know, that Emma really is the one that can defeat her. So it's going to be Emma versus Zelena, and it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for the next episode. Apparently, the next episode, we're going to get Dorothy back. Do you think that they really can trust Hook? I'm pretty sure they can, but I don't know. What's going to happen with the baby? I'm kind of worried that when the baby comes, it's not going to end up working out. I have a feeling that's probably going to happen. But this is it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys saw this episode, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Game of Thrones. So, see you then. Bye.